Hello, hello, welcome. I am Kate, and we have an hour of bars together. I have two sets of weights. I have 3s and 5s. You don't necessarily need to. You could go one, you could go without, you can use something in place of weights, but you pick whatever feels best to you. I have a stool right over here. You can't see it right now. Have a stool or a high chair rack or something that will help you balance on hand. You can even head over to a counter when you need. And then that playlist I sent you says Fall Bar 20. Chelsea, since you just joined in, you didn't get the link, but if you go under my Spotify, you can find it. Otherwise, you can listen to whatever you want to listen to. So it says Fall Bar 20. And you want to make sure that it's not on shuffle, because if it's on shuffle, it will ruin it. Mine will be pretty quiet though, but we'll still press play at the same time. So I have it all ready, and we will do it in 3, 2, and press play. And then have a seat on your mat. You can have your legs crossed or spread out, however feels best to you. But close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Letting go of your day. Letting go of your week. Letting go of anything that won't serve you for the next hour. Now, as you find these deep breaths, scan your body, finding the areas that feel good and powerful and energetic today. You know that's where you get to push yourself a little further in our practice. And if there's areas that you find that are sore or tight or uncomfortable or even injured, please be very mindful of them as we move. I want this to be beneficial to your body and not harming. So listen to your body as we move. Let it tell you what it needs today. Now, this is YogaBarre, right? So we still are a little yoga based. And part of that is finding intention in what we're doing. We're not simply coming to exercise. There's a little more to it. So I invite you to set an intention for your practice today, something that motivates you, something that inspires you, something that helps to push through those challenges. Whatever your intention is today, you see it clearly in your mind. And you clear all of the air out of your lungs. And then you take a deep breath in, fill all the way up. With a great big open mouth, exhale, send it all the way out. All right, open your eyes. Sit up nice and tall. Put one hand onto your belly. Now pull your belly button towards your spine. Lift it up towards your sternum and pull your ribs in towards each other. You feel that tightening within your abdomen. That is Uddiyana Bandha, your core lock, and you'll keep that engaged throughout everything that we do. Now take your left hand, put it on your right knee. Right fingertips come behind you. Push into the floor. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, begin to twist from your lower back, and then very slowly work your way up your spine, bringing it in through your thoracic spine, your upper back. Your chin reaches around. Keep pulling your belly button in. Reach the crown of your head a little bit higher. And then gently unwind to center. You'll switch it out. Left fingertips behind you, right hand to left knee. Sit up as tall as you can. Take a deep breath. Exhale, begin to twist from your lumbar spine and slowly work your way up. Chin around. Keep your chin lifted so your neck stays nice and long through that twist. And very slowly unwind back to the front. Interlace your fingers. Press your hands overhead. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lean over just a tiny little bit to the right. Pull back with your left shoulder and look underneath it. Create space between your hip bone and your rib cage on that left side. And gently come back to the top. Breathe in. Breathe out. Fold a little to the left. Draw your right shoulder back. Look underneath it and create that space in the right side of your body. And back to the top. Release your hands down and make your way into tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, hips over your knees, fingers spread nice and wide. Take a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhales, you drop your belly and lift your gaze. Exhales, you carve out your belly and bring your chin to your chest. So you move with your breath, as big or as small, as fast or as slow as you need. But working to use muscle to move your body here, rather than simply stretching. Start to build a little heat within your core. Keeping your core engaged is so important in a barre class because it keeps your pelvis in line, which keeps your spine safe. It's also going to aid with the strength through your hips. So really wake the core muscles up here. Do it one more time through. And then come back to a flat back and tabletop. Curl your toes under and find hovering tabletop. Lift your knees just a couple of inches from the ground, keeping your hips in line with your shoulders, resisting the urge to stick your butt way up in the air. And then push into your toes, bring your heels over the ball mounds of your feet. As you do that, put more weight into your fingertips, maybe enough to make the knuckles lift off of the ground. And then make sure that you have little bends to your elbows so that you're not hyperextending and straining through tendons and ligaments. Gaze is at the top edge of your mat, meaning your neck is nice and long and neutral here. Find your breath as that heat builds. That heat building is the whole point, right? So let it get a little uncomfortable. You need that heat before you move further. Everything in your body works to hold you here. And as the intensity of those sensations come up, so does your breath. So deepen your breath, make it strong, make it powerful, and control it. Because when you control your breath, you are helping to control your body's stress reaction. You're almost there. Take one more big inhale. And when you exhale, you can lift your hips into downward facing dog. Give your feet a pedal. Press your chest towards your thighs, hang your head heavy. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward, feet behind your wrists, put a bend to your knees, nod your head, yes, shake it, no, loosen things up. And then finding stillness in your neck, tilt more weight into your toes, less in your heels. Lift your hips nice and high, stretch your legs, and then bend your knees and drop back down till your chest taps your thighs. Here you lift your hips and lower, up and down, and up and down. Bring the weight into your toes when your hips lift. And when you bring your hips back down, you can press a little into your heels. Feel the heat start to build in your thighs. Keep your head heavy. Just 4, 3, final 2. Do it one more time. Now, hands flat to the ground. Step your feet back to a plank. Push into your toes. Bring heels over the ball mounds of your feet. From your heels through the crown of your head, you are one long line of energy. Take a full breath in. Take a slow breath out. Full body inhale. Full body exhale. You're here for 4, 3, down dog in 2. Now lift your hips high. Take a breath and exhale it out. Now from here, bend your knees. Bring your knees to hover, push into your toes, and extend all the way forward. So now you're in a high plank, and then lift your hips into downward facing dog. That's your movement. Bend your knees, bring your hips down, push forward, high plank, lift your hips, down dog. So it's bend, push, and lift. Knees hover, you lengthen, hips high. Keep moving. While you move, you're still waking up your body, building heat, but I want you to pay attention to what's happening. I don't want any listen to me, clicking in your hips, shoulders, wrists, all of these things need to stay strong. So I want you to start to get used to your body's range of motion. As you find that hovering tabletop, where do your knees need to be in order for it to feel good in your lower back and your shoulders? When you push forward into your plank, how bent do your elbows need to be? How do your hip bones need to be tucked up and in? You are listening to your body, letting it guide you through movement. If that seems tricky to you, try closing your eyes. Sometimes when you close your eyes, you become more in tune to the sensations in your body. It's a hovering tabletop, plank, down dog. Now make your way into your high plank and hold. Heels over the ball mounds of your feet, little bends to your elbows, hip bones up and in. Take a full breath in. Take a full breath out. Full body inhale. Full body exhale. 4, 3, 2, hips high, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now come forward and then find a forearm plank. So from your high plank, one forearm at a time, you come down. Interlace your fingers, almost like you're making a triangle shape with your forearms. Zip your feet together until they touch, and now tap both knees down to the floor and lift them up. It's tap and lift, tap and lift. Shoulders stay over your elbows. Your hips are not moving up and down here. They stay right where they are in space. Just the knees are bending. And this wakes up your lower abdomen, your shoulders. And you might start to feel your quadriceps start to get a little shaky. Tap and lift, tap and lift. Push evenly into your forearms, like you're lifting out of your shoulder sockets. It'll almost feel like your shoulders are slightly rounded. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. You got it. 4 more. 3, 2. Now, knees lift, feet stay zipped together. Find a tiny little hip dip. Right to left, right to left. It's small. It's not very big, but your shoulders stay solid right where they are. They're not changing. Your hips are shifting from side to side. Upper body's still. Keep lifting out of the shoulders. Don't forget to breathe. Through these movements in a plank, if it doesn't feel good to move, just hold a solid forearm plank rather than trying to modify within the movement. These ones are pretty small, and so if you try to put your knees down and do it, you tend to just strain your lower back. So holding your forearm plank is an option. Otherwise, you stay on your toes with those tiny little twists side to side. You got it. 4, 3, 2. One more time through. Now, come back to the center. Spin your heels to the right. Lift your left arm in the air. It's a modified side flip because you're on your forearm. Push that left hip slightly forward. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Full body inhale. Full body exhale. 4, 3, 2. Come to center. Heels come to the left. Right hand lifts as you open to the side. Just hold and breathe. Lift out of that left shoulder. Dial your right hip slightly forward. Lengthen through your neck. The crown of your head is pulling forward rather than hanging heavy. Good. 4, 3, final 2. Come back to center. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out, side to side. It's side plank, open left. Center, side plank, open right. And center. Left arm lifts. Come through center. Right arm lifts. Come back to center. That's your movement. Again, you don't have to take movement. You can just hold a forearm plank if that feels better to you. But it's a slower movement side to side. It doesn't need to be quick. I want you to keep your hips elevated as you go rather than letting them drop down with that shift from side to side. And that's really where it gets kind of tricky because your hips naturally want to fall while you move. Keep them elevated, slow and controlled side to side. Don't forget to breathe. So the muscles underneath your arms kind of wrapping around your shoulder blades, those are your lat muscles. They're really important for lifting things, for holding things in everyday life. Often we think of like biceps, right? Because you can see them. But your lat muscles do so much for you. They even help with posture. Yeah, who knew? So keep it going. 4, 3, 2. It's just one more on the side. Come back to the center, knees come down. You find a puppy dog pose. Hips reach back towards your heels, creep and stretch under your arms. Take a breath. Let it go. Knees drop. Now I want you to come forward to a modified plank. So your hips are up and in. From your knees to the crown of your head, you are one long line of energy. Your wrists directly under your shoulders. Bend your elbows straight back and come about halfway down to the floor. And then push back to the top. It's halfway down and push. Halfway down and push. Keep going. Elbows should graze your ribs as you lower. Only halfway down them. Push more weight into your fingertips, less in the heel of your hands. That means less pressure in your wrists. Draw your shoulder backs, open through your collarbones. Now hold it halfway down. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down. Lift, lower, lift, lower. Keep the elbows in tight, they're not wide. Tiny movements. Your shoulders really want to creep forward here and round. Pull them back, open up. Yes, you can. There's only 4, 3, full range in 2. All right, push to the top, full range of motion. As low as you can go to the floor, maybe your chest taps, then push back up, all the way down and lift. There's not very many of these. Just find your depth and go with it. 4, 3, 2. All right, push it back, find that puppy dog pose, stretch, take a deep breath. Let it go. All right, you gotta come forward back to that modified plank. This time, walk your hands wide as your mat. Thumb and forefingers on, the rest are off, hip bones up and in, halfway down and lift, halfway down and lift. Now your elbows do come wide. Everything from the knees through the crown of your head, move in unison. It's all connected. Your butt does not stick up in the air. You're not just lifting and lowering your chest. Halfway down and push. Top half of that modified push-up. Now you're waking up the muscles in your chest, more into your shoulders. 4, 3, 2. Hold it halfway down. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Push hard into your fingertips. Here you go. It's up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, and down. It's barre. Of course, we have to take tiny, tiny movements. You got it. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. You got this. 4, 3. Full range in 2. Your full range. Get as low as you can to the floor, then push back up. All the way down, all the way up. You got it. Keep your gaze slightly forward. Keep your neck long and neutral. Shoulder blades pull together. Just 2 more. Last one. All right, push it back, puppy dog pose. That's it. Now your arms should be nice and warm. Your upper back, your core ready to go. Come forward into a downward facing dog. Walk your toes until they're behind your wrists. And then I want you to slowly begin to rise, uncurling one vertebrae at a time. At the top, you can shrug your shoulders out. Make any adjustments you need. Then I want you to open to the side, stepping really wide. Heels in, toes out. Bring your arms overhead. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Now bend your knees, sweep your arms down. And when you bend your knees, tailbone stays pointing at the ground, shoulders over hips. Stand back up, sweep your arms overhead. Bend your knees, sweep them down. Stand up and sweep it down. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. You're sliding your back up and down the wall. Now, noticing your shoulders full range as you make these great big movements, how does it feel? If you feel any clicking or you hear any popping, I want you to make it smaller. Find the range where it stays within your shoulder socket, not clicking around. All right, do it one more time all the way through. Lift all the way up. Bring it all the way down. I want you to grab a set of weights. Doesn't matter, whichever ones you like. And with your knees bent, you press them slightly back. That will create more space for your pelvis to stay tucked underneath. Same movement. Inhale, lift to the top. Bring your palms up. They connect at the top. Exhale, flip your palms out. Bend your knees, sweep the weights back down. Lift all the way up. Neck is nice and long. Sweep it all the way down. Little bends to your elbows. Keep it strong. Lift and lower. So your palms are always stretching in towards each other. So on the way up, palms face up, and then they connect. And then you flip them out as you come down, and they connect right at the bottom. You have 2 more, just like this. All the way up. All the way down. One last time. Lift. And lower. Now, stay low in your hips. Bring your arms out to about shoulder height. Little bends in your elbows still, and you find a water pitcher. Palms flip front to back. Keep the elbows slightly bent and try to keep those weights at shoulder height versus below or above. So right at shoulder height, working through your rotator cuff. Take a deep breath in. Give an open mouth exhale. Get a little lower in your hips. Make sure that your pelvis is scooped. That protects your spine. Just do 4, 3, final 2. One more rotation through. The great big movement. Bring it all the way down. Palms towards each other. Bring it up. Palms connect overhead. Flip it out and lower. Flip them out and lift. You got it. Exhale as you lower down. Inhale all the way to the top. Get one more through. Lift and lower. Stay low in your hips. Bring the weights up to shoulder height. Do it again. Water pitcher, back to front. And this is one you can absolutely do without weights. Don't let the weights go too far. Maybe you just set them down in front of you. Without weights, you're stretching your fingertips as long as you can. And then you have to work to really squeeze the muscles in your arms yourself. Not physically grabbing your arm muscles, but engaging. Because without the weights there, it's up to you to create resistance and work the muscle. Draw your shoulders together. Drop the tops of your shoulders away from your earlobes. 4, 3, 2. Do it one more time through. All right, bring it all the way down. Palms meet. Bring it all the way up. Palms come overhead. You got it. Lower. And lift. Press the knees back as they bend. Lift the arches of your feet. You're pressing more weight into the pinky edge side. Bring it all the way down. Get one more time through. Lift. And lower. Stay low in your hips. Weights come out to shoulder height. Last time with water pitchers, front to back. They burn, don't they? Now, what happens here is when your arms get really tired, the shoulders creep up, right? And the elbows get lower. So if you find yourself doing this, I want you to set your weights down and go without. 8, 7, 6, and 5. Yes, you can. It's 4, 3, 2. Bring the weights down. Take a deep breath in. Give an open mouth exhale. Feel a little pulse in your legs. Feel a little extra heat in your lower limbs. You squeeze your butt cheeks, your glutes, as hard as you can to make the pulse happen. So you're not simply just like going through your knees here. You're squeezing muscle. You got it. Hip bones up and in. Chest is up. Shoulders drop. A little bit lower. Squeeze. Squeeze. 8, 7, 6, and 5. Almost there. 4, 3, 2. Lift your right heel. Squeeze. Stick with the pulse. Right heel's up. A little more weight goes in your left heel. Now, naturally, when you lift a heel, knees want to come in a little. Press them back. Keep your hips nice and open. Lift your chest. 4, 3. Switch heels in 2. All right, right heel down, left heel up. Keep pulsing. Squeeze. Muscles in your left thigh are going to work a little harder with that heel up. You got to squeeze them tight. Straight down to your femur. Lift and lift. So good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Alternate heels. It's right heel, left heel, right heel, left heel. Keep pulsing through your hips and glutes. Just switch the heels out. So good. Deep breath in through your nose. Open mouth exhales, release heat. If you breathe out through your nose, you're going to keep heat inside. It's up to you. Whatever feels better here. Just 8, 7, 6, and 5. Last 4, 3, 2. Heels come down. Heels up, heels down, heels up, heels down. So just the heels lift and lower now. Keep your chest lifted. Keep your shoulders over your hips. No sticking your butt out behind you. The lift of your heels could be 1 centimeter from the ground. It could be 3 inches. It's always up to you. You pick whichever feels best, but I want you to be able to control it. So if you lift your heels up, there's lots of wiggling and wobbling. That is too high in your body. Make it a smaller rotation. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Can you get a little lower in your hips while you find that movement? 4, 3, final 2. All right, heels come down, but stay low in your hips. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Get 1 inch lower, breathe in. Breathe out. Nice job. All right, now stay low in your hips. You're gonna go back to your arms a little. Now, think robot arms, 90-degree bends, palms face each other. From here, lift your elbows to shoulder height, palms face down. Lift your palms up. Now you have goalpost arms. Squeeze your forearms together in front of you. Open them up, goalpost. Palms come down, elbows come down. Those are your movements. Elbows lift, hands lift. Forearms in, forearms out, palms, elbows. Lift, lift, squeeze, open, lower, lower. Up, up, in, out, down, down. You got it. Keep going. Elbows are at shoulder height when you go. So when you lift up, wrists, elbows, shoulders are in line. When you're up, wrists, elbows in line, elbows, shoulders in line. When you bring it in, elbows and shoulders are still in line here. Wrists and elbows still in line. That doesn't change. Keep going. And again, listen to your body. No clicking, no popping. Those things are not good. Those are not good sensations we want. You are finding your body's range of motion. So if you have tighter shoulders, your forearms might not squeeze in all the way together, and that's okay. But I don't want you to push something that is not in your joints' capabilities, right? All right, get a little lower in your hips. Yes, your legs are supposed to be achy and shaky. I want that heat to stay there. All right, now finish out whatever rotation you're on. And then you're coming back to that original movement. So elbows lifted at shoulder height, palms face down. And from here, you squeeze your elbows back, a tiny little pulse back. As you squeeze back, your shoulder blades are pulling together. And it's almost like a slight push forward with the weight. So I want you to feel a tiny little bit in your chest as you push. Elbows stay lifted, don't let them droop down. Lift the crown of your head a little bit higher. Good, get a little bit lower in your hips. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Push and push. Yes, you can. It's only 4, 3, final 2. All right, from here, goalpost your arms, palms come up. You guessed it, pulse. Tiny little push up, little squeeze. And squeeze, hello, lat muscles, yet again. So that tiny little movement up really starts to activate them. Keep the shoulders low, away from your earlobes. Don't let them turtle. Pull the elbows back. Keep your chest open nice and wide. Deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Get lower in your hips. Press your knees back. Lift the arches of your feet. When you get tired, that's the first thing to go. I know. Keep the wrists in line with your elbows. Don't let the weights bring them back. Otherwise, let the weights come to the floor nice and gently. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, from here, forearms come in, tiny little pulses in, little pushes up, alternating right and left. Push and push. You got it. Elbows stay at shoulder height with that tiny little squeeze. Don't forget to breathe. Lift your chin, lengthen through your neck. Yes, you can. 8, 7, 6, and 5. Almost there. 4, 3, 2. Nice job. Bring the weights down. They can come back to your hips. Take a deep breath. Let it go. All right. Now, from here, bring the weights to your chest. Relax your shoulders. Maybe give them a few shrugs. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Twist to the right. Extend the left arm out. Center. Twist left. Right arm extends out. Center. Twist. Center. Twist. So now you're going to get more into your shoulders. You're going to start working your core again, especially along your spine and your obliques, the side of your abdomen. If you simply twist and you don't engage the muscles in your core, that Uddiyana Bandha, that core lock that we did at the very beginning, all you're going to do is strain along your spine, all right? So navel in and up, ribs together, that's so important. Push and push. When you push the weight out, it's straight from your shoulder. Good. Keep your neck nice and long. Hips and legs don't move here. They're solid at the center. It's just your torso and arms, upper body moving. Press the knees back, get a little lower. This one's 4. And 3. 2 more times. Right, left. Last time through. Right and left. All right, come back to the center, lengthen your legs. Those weights are coming up and slightly to the left. So just a slight little pull overhead. From here, you don't need to walk your feet just a tiny little bit. Lift your right knee and twist through your torso. So your elbows are coming down towards the outside of your left or right thigh rather. Step out, tap your toes to the ground, but little to no weight there. Arms come back overhead slightly to the left. Lift the right knee up, find that twist in your spine. Open center, extend, twist, extend, and twist. Inhale as you expand, exhale as you squeeze and twist. So the weight is really coming in that left leg. And again, when the right toes tap down, little to no weight there. This is one you can set your weights down if you prefer. And in fact, I recommend it if it feels like your balance is not great, because putting weights overhead while balancing on one foot, if the balance is not there, is not going to be fantastic for your body. You're more likely to strain something. That's important because a lot of times in class, our egos like to take over and they like to push, 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 right? And sometimes that's just not a great way to go. So listen to your body. That's the theme of our practice today. Let it guide you through. Right obliques, squeezing hard, just for 4, 3, 2. Do it one more time. All right, now you're gonna switch to the other side. Arms are up and just slightly to the right. Put all the weight in your right foot. Lift the left knee. Twist towards the left. Weights, elbows coming out towards the outside of your thigh. Open to center, extend it out. Toes tap the floor. Lift and twist. Lower. Twist, extend, twist, extend. So obviously left obliques working really hard to squeeze and twist. When you extend out, the muscles along your spine are really going to fire up. Your lower abdomen is really working to lift and lower the knee along with your hip flexor. And I tell you these things because when you think about the muscles and what they're doing, they will work harder for you. And when you know which muscles are working, you're more likely to pay attention to them, less instances of injuries, right? So squeeze and extend with your breath. Inhales open and exhales close. Almost there. You just do 4, 3, last 2. Do it one more time. Nice job. All right, step your feet a little wider again. And now here, you're gonna find a little more movement. It's a little 80s dance theme, right? So extend the right arm out, tap your right toes out to the side, bring it back to center. A little bend to your knees, a little bounce. Left arm, left foot extends. Center, right, center, left. When you pull the weight down, bring it to your shoulder. So now those same muscles along your spine and obliques work. And when you go a little faster, a little more fluid in this movement, your heart rate's gonna go up a little, which means your breathing rate's gonna go up a little. So what is your job? To slow down your breath. Little bends to your knees at the center. Good. When you tap your toes up, little to no weight there. If you're putting a lot of weight into the toes, the core is getting cheated out of that work. Remember, you can set the weights down and go without. So good. Just do 4, 3, 2. One more time. Bring it back to center. Feet, knees, they're at the center. Little bends, little pulse. Bring the weights together at your chest. Tiny little movement. Scoop your pelvis rather than sticking your butt out behind you. Pelvis is scooped. Thigh muscles find the movement. Push into your heels. Relax the grip on your toes. Get a little bit lower. Keep pulsing. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. 8, 7, 6, and 5. You got it. 4, 3, 2. Now stay low on your knees. Lift the heels off of the ground and set them down. Heels lift, lower, lift, and lower. So the knees push forward as the heels lift, but your body really isn't going up and down like it did with that pulse. Once again, it could be a centimeter lift from the ground. It could be 3 inches, but I want you to be able to control it. If your ankles are wiggling and wobbling, that's too high for your body. Do it a little bit lower. If balance feels like it's just not happening, separate your feet hip width distance apart. Keep your pelvis scooped. Your lower abdomen is still doing work to hold your hips in place. 8, 7, 6, and 5. Only 4, 3, final 2. Set the heels back down. Stay low in your hips. Tap your toes to the right. Center, left, center. Bring it right. Left, right, left. Stay low. Toe taps out to the side. Now, obviously, your legs are working really hard here. But can you feel your core as well? Lower abdomen, obliques stabilizing so that your torso is centered and just the legs move. Really getting in tune with what needs to happen to stabilize in your body. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. You're almost there. 4, 3, 2. You have one more tap side to side. From here, those weights can come down, set them out of the way. Stool, you will want it here. I have the stool on the right side of my body. So if it helps you to follow along, we will switch sides, obviously, and do it on the other side. But if right and left are confusing to you, just do whatever side feels best. Otherwise, stool on the right. From here, your left foot comes forward, your right foot steps back with your hips slightly turned out. So heels in, toes out with the left foot in front. So your left heel should approximately line up with your right toes. If you give your knees a bend here, your knees should be in line over your toes. So here, center your weight right in the middle. Bend your knees in line with toes. Scoop your pelvis, tailbone at the floor, shoulders over hips, and stand back up. Bend and stand, bend and stand. Good. So this is called demi-plie. It's a small bend. And this positioning of your feet is called fourth position. Try to keep the weight centered to start. That right heel might lift up a little as you bend your knees, and that's okay. Keep your spine as tall as you can. That stool's here for balance if you need it. 4, 3, final 2. Do it one more time. Now stand up, bend your right knee and lean back. Your left leg stays long, the weight is in your right leg here. Shoulders, they're nice and long behind you. Come up an inch with your right knee, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Little to no weight in your left foot. You should be able to lift and lower that left leg with the movement with ease. All the weight is in your right leg, meaning your right thigh is doing all the work. Stay leaning back. That's going to keep your core working hard. Channel your inner smooth criminal, Michael Jackson, right? That lean back, tiny lift and lower. Right quadricep fired up, right glute working hard, core fully engaged. Stick with it. Only 4, 3, 2, back to the top, center your weight, demi-plie and lift, demi-plie and lift. So now there's weight in the left foot. Keep your chin up. Don't be tempted to put too much weight forward. I know the right leg is tired. We're gonna get to that front leg here. 2 more. Last one. All right, now bend the left knee, put weight into your left leg. There'll be a little bend to your right knee, but again, you should be able to lift and lower the back foot, your right foot now, without anything changing in your body. It's just there for balance. From right here, come up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. So now that weight is in the left leg, your weight is forward. Do your best to keep your shoulders over hips still, just as you're pushing into that left heel. So now your left quad has to do the work. Tiny lift and lower. Keep your chin up. You got it. Remember, that little to no weight in the back foot. Maybe you even lift up the back foot to make sure that you're not putting the weight there. Little lift, little lower. Almost there. Just do 4, 3, 2. All right, come back to the center, both feet flat. Weight is centered between both of your feet. Demi-plie and stretch. Demi-plie and stretch. There's only 6. And 5. Final 4, 3. You stay low in 2. This time your knees stay bent. From right here, both of your heels lift up off of the ground and tap the floor. Heels lift, lower, heels up and up. The knees come further out as the heels lift, but your whole body is not lifting and lowering again. So the pulse, your body lifts up and down. With these isolated moves for your thighs, it's more of an outward movement. Keep your pelvis scooped, tailbones pointing at the ground. 8, 7, 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2, heels come down, lengthen your legs. Now lift the heels, come to a releve, or like a calf raise, and then heels down, up, lower, up, lower. And here's really where you find out if your weight is centered. You might have to put a little more weight in the left foot than you thought. Keep your pelvis scooped. Your heels just barely tap the floor with that releve or that calf raise. Tiny lift and lift. Chin up. 4, 3, 2. Can you hold it up? Hold it up. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Maybe your left arm comes overhead. Maybe your right arm comes overhead and you test your balance. Weight centered between your 2 feet. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Reach the crown of your head a little bit higher. Bring your heels back down. Now, slide the left heel in until it touches your right toes. So you still have that turned out position in your feet. I'll try and get a little closer. Actually, I guess you can't really see in my hand. Inner thighs squeezing together. Slightly forward, toes out, bend your knees. Make sure they stay in line with your toes. This is called 5th position. This is just where you start. Stand up nice and tall. Slide your left toes forward and lift them off of the ground as high as you can without bending your right knee underneath you. That's the trick. Bring it back down. Left heel connects to right big toe. Here we go. Lift, lower, lift, and lower. Bring it up, bring it down. Shoulders over hips. Right knee does not bend, even if it means that you don't bring the left leg as high. 2 more times. Now hold it up nice and high. Find a little pulse, a little squeeze. You can put a little bend to your left knee, but the right leg is nice and long. Little squeeze and squeeze. Keep the turnout in your hip. Your inner thigh is facing the ceiling. Lift and lift. Tiny little squeezes. Say hello to your left hip flexor. Bring your chest a little higher. Drop your shoulders a little bit lower. Find your breath for 4, 3, final 2. All right, bring that leg down. 5th position. Left heel, right toes connected, hips turned out. Développé. Bring your left toes up towards your right knee. Keep the turnout in your hips. Extend your left leg forward, point your toes, and lower to the ground. It's knee, extend, and lower. Développé, développé. So keep the turnout in your hips. Stay nice and tall. You smooth out that motion as much as you can. Just do one more. And then you reverse it. Envelope. 5th position in your feet. Lift your toes up. Draw the knee back. Keep it open and slide it down your leg. Envelope. Bring it forward and up and sweep it in. So when that knee comes back, your hip is totally open rather than closing off. You're almost there. You have 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more envelope. Nice job. Open to the side, wide second, heels in, toes out. Grand plie. Get as low as you can to the floor and stand back up. Grand plie and lift. Grand plie and lift. Think of it as an active stretch. Let it feel good. We do have to do the other side. So that's why I say make sure it feels good right now. Find that stretch in your body. 4, 3, 2. All right, stand up and then you'll flip so that your left side is facing your stool or the opposite side from where you started. That will bring the opposite leg in front. Right leg is forward, left leg is back. Right heel lines up with your left big toes, hips stay turned out. Center your weight between the 2, bend your knees, demi-plie and lift, demi-plie and lift. So that left heel can pop a tiny little bit off of the floor as you bend. And And that will really just depend on the tightness through your Achilles and your calves, okay? So if they stay grounded, great. If it pops up, no big deal. But do press your knees back, keeping your hips open versus closing them off, right? Everything's open wide. 2 more. Last one. All right, now lean back. Put a little bend to your left knee. Little to no weight in the right toes. They're just there, right? From right here, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Lift, lower. Channel your smooth criminal. One of these days, I will cue it up, and I will actually be doing this when we are playing that song. But we have not gotten that far in life yet, right? Tiny little lift and lower. Keep your shoulders back. Keep your core engaged. Your chin is lifted, so your gaze is slightly up towards the ceiling. You're almost there. Squeeze the muscles in your left thigh. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. 4, 3, 2, come back to the center. Center your weight, both feet down. Demi-plie and stretch. Demi-plie and stretch. Knees in line with toes. Weight is centered. Don't put too much weight in that right foot yet. I know you want to because your left leg is tired. We got to do the front leg still. Tailbone at the floor. Don't stick it out behind you. 3, 2. All right, now bring the weight into the right foot. Lean forward, bend your knee. Your left heel pops up. Again, little to no weight in the back foot. If I lift my back foot up, nothing changes, right? Shoulders, hips, knee, everything's in line. Toes are there for balance on the floor. Little bend to your knee, that's where you start. Then up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down. Lift and lift. Deep breath in, slow breath out. So at the top, your leg is not all the way straight. You still keep that little bend. It's just 1-inch movements. Squeeze the muscles in your right thigh straight down to your femur. Let it get nice and achy. 8, 7, 6, and 5. Last 4, 3, 2, nice job. Center the weight, both feet down, demi-plie and stretch, demi-plie and stretch. Straight down, straight up, press the knees back, squeeze the muscles in your thighs. You create the resistance, it's up to you. 2 more. Last one. All right, now get low, bend your knees, lift the heels up, then set them down. Heels lift, lower, lift, and lower. And again, it's different from a pulse. Pulse brings your whole body up and down. This brings it up, out, down, out, and down. Good, get lower in your hips. Find the control. Remember, no wiggling and wobbling through the ankles. If your thighs are shaking like crazy, that's awesome. That's supposed to happen. That means you're burning out those muscles. Ankles, keep them solid and strong. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, heels come down, lengthen your legs, keep the weight centered, calf raise or releve. Heels lift and lower, lift and lower. So releve just means to rise. So it's a calf raise, but you're in the spunky position in your body, right? Keep the hips turned out, knees stay in line with toes. Lift your chin nice and high. Now hold it up, heels stay lifted. Bring your right arm overhead. Left fingertips can stay on your stool for balance, or if you want to test it, you bring the left arm overhead. Hip bones up and in, chin lifted, crown of your head reaching high. Take a deep breath in. Take a slow breath out. Pull your inner thighs towards each other. Squeeze it tight for 4, 3, 2. All right, bring the heels down. Slide the right heel in until it connects with your left big toe. 5th position, right? So turn out from your hips. Toes are facing out. If you bend your knees, knees in line with toes. That's really important. It's just protecting your knee joints. Stand up nice and tall. Extend your right toes forward. Lift your right leg up. Do not let the left knee bend underneath you. So you're not leaning back. Nice and tall. Just see how high the right leg goes. And then bring it back to 5th position. Here we go. Lift and lower. Bring it up. Squeeze it down. So really use your core to hold your body strong. Resist the urge to lean back, even a little bit. You're standing tall. Muscle is lifting the leg. You're not using momentum, making yourself into a pendulum, right? Pull your collarbones away from each other. Drop your shoulders. All right, this one you keep it lifted, and you find that little pulse. Inner thigh is facing up, knee is facing out. Point your toes. You got it. If your foot starts to cramp, pointing your toes, find a Barbie doll foot. Your foot is pointed, but your toes flex back, and that will release some of that tension while still keeping your quadricep muscle engaged. All right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, slowly lower down. 5th position. Bring it back to that original point. Développé. Draw your right toes up towards your left knee. Keep your hip turned out. Extend the leg forward and lower down. Développé. It's ankle, knee, extend, and down. Round it out. Make it smooth. So good. You have 4. Don't lean back. 3. Lift up and in with that left leg. Final 2. Fight to keep your turn out. We reverse it. Toes come forward. Inner thighs facing the ceiling as you lift. The knee pulls back, open through your hips as it connects to your knee and slides down your leg. Again, envelope, envelope. It means to envelop, right? So you're bringing it in. Find that turnout in your hips, keeping your knees open as you can. So good. Almost there. 3, 2. Last one. Nice job. All right. Open wide. 2nd position. Grand plie. Down and up. Down and up. Stretch it out. I can't even believe that class is almost over. So stretching, I apologize. It's going to be real short today because I want to squeeze a little core work in. Of course, if you can stay longer to stretch, obviously you get to stretch longer. All right. Bring your arms overhead. Stand tall. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release it down. Move your stool out of the way. We're making our way down to our backs for a little bit of belly up core real quick. Bring it down. All right. All the way down on your back. Legs come overhead, legs up the wall. Hands underneath your hips. Hips are curled up and in. So right away, the very back side of your hips shouldn't be touching the floor. If you put a hand on your belly, lower belly is fully engaged. That's your starting point and your ending point. Push your heels up towards the ceiling and lower down. Hips lift, lower, lift, and lower. So this is a reverse crunch, further working your lower abdomen. Keep the legs up together. When you lower down, your core is still working to keep that little tuck to your pelvis. Try to relax your shoulders as much as you can, rather than letting them round off of the floor. Heels push up. It's not a big movement. You're not rocking front to back. It's just the lift and lower for 4, 3, 2. All right, now legs stay up the wall. Bring your arms overhead. Then from here, bend your knees. All right, it's a dead bug. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring your right arm overhead, extend your left leg out long. Bring it back to center. Left arm overhead, right leg comes long. Center, switch, center, and switch. Your lower abdomen works hard to extend the leg out. Keep your lower back pressed into the floor. And if you notice that it's really hard to move opposite hand and opposite foot in different directions, guess what? That's part of the point. So it's really hard. It's like rubbing your belly and patting your head at the same time. When you have to move your body in different ways like this, the stabilizing muscles work that much harder. And that's kind of my point here. I want your stabilizing muscles all through your core to get turned on. So in that split second that it takes your brain to figure out which limb to put in which spot, the muscles all the way around from your abdomen all the way into your back are going to work harder. Keep the lower back pressed into the floor. Here's 4, 3, 2 more times through. One more time. core work has never sounded so sexy. Thank you to the weekend. All right, now from here, interlace your fingers behind your head. We're gonna round it out with some bicycles. Take a deep breath. Exhale, twist to the right, extend your left leg out. Center, twist, center, twist. These are some of the best exercises because they reach your lower abdomen and your obliques at the same time. When you bring the knee in, it's only coming to your hip, closer to your chest. So you're really reaching your upper body further than you are bringing the knee in. Keep your head heavy in your hands. Keep your elbows pulled back. You can always extend your legs long and scissor them for more work. And if you take that variation, you're reaching opposite hand towards opposite ankle bone. No matter where you are, you breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, long body stretch right here. All right, long body stretch, point your toes, reach overhead. Nice job. Full body inhale. Full body exhale. Bring your knees into your chest, rock from side to side, and then make that a happy baby. Grab your feet. Pull your knees as wide as you can and get into your inner thighs, backside of your legs, right underneath your butt. It tends to be a sensitive, hard to reach stretching spot. If you need more, bring a heel in and extend the opposite leg out. Then you're really gonna get into your hamstrings and up right under your rear end. If you're taking that variation, make sure you take it on the other side as well. Then take a quick supine twist, feet in, knees in, arms to a T. Breathe in, breathe out, bring your knees down to the left. Keep your right shoulder pressing into the floor. See how it feels. If you need more twist, extend the left leg all the way out. If you want more stretch, take your left peace fingers, wrap them around your right big toe, and then kick the heel out. Say hello to your IT band, right? That stretch goes all the way from the outside of your hip, all the way down. You might even feel it in your calf and your foot a little. You can bring your gaze over to the right, bring a stretch into your neck. And that right leg, if you're taking that kicking out IT band stretch variation, your leg doesn't have to be all the way straight, just enough to feel the stretch in your body. Take a full breath in. And a slow breath out. And then slowly bring it back to the center. And give it another rock from side to side for your lower back. And then take a breath. And when you exhale, knees come to the right. How does it feel on this side? Keep your left shoulder down. You can always extend the right leg, your bottom leg out to create a deeper twist. If you want to get to the outside of your hip and thigh, right peace fingers grab the left big toe and you push the left heel out. This IT band for me is about 10 times tighter and more horrible feeling than the other side. So that's fun. Bring your gaze to the left if you want. When you stretch, it's really important that you find a place you can breathe. So like initially, when I kicked that foot out, I was holding my breath. It was so intense. That is counterproductive to stretching. Pick a spot where you can breathe. Don't push so hard that you have to hold your breath because it's so intense. You did amazing work today. I hope that you are at least a little bit sore tomorrow in your quads and maybe in your hip flexors and your lower abdomen. And if not, let's try again next week. And when you log in, you can tell me in the little chat function what you would like to work on. Release your foot, bring it back to the center, give it another little rock from side to side. Then I want you to take one more long body stretch. Point your toes, reach overhead, spread up, take in as much space as you can. And I want you to call to mind the intention that you set out at the beginning of practice. See it clearly in your mind. Clear all of the air from your lungs. Give it a great big stretch. Take a deep breath in. And with gratitude, a great big open mouth exhale, you send it out into the universe and then you let go and let your body grow heavy on your mat. And take some time here. Take some time for yourself to relax, to recuperate, and to soak up all of that beautiful energy that we created during practice. This is where I leave you, my friends. I hope to practice with you again next week. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. To you I bow. Namaste.